Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you for joining us today. My name is Kautu Kastu. I'm a member of Transcendence Student Club of ISC. It's truly wonderful to see all of you continuing this journey with us. So, welcome to day two of our 18-day Gita reading series. Over these 18 days, we are exploring one chapter each day from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, drawing out key slokas, stories, pastimes, and practical wisdom that can apply in our everyday lives. But before we move into today's theme, let's take a brief moment to reflect on what we learned yesterday. Yesterday, we saw how, when emotions overpower clarity, even a strong and capable person like Arjuna can lose direction. We also learned that good intentions without right understanding can still lead to wrong decisions. Now, what's the anyone would like to share a key point from yesterday? Before we begin, I'd like to ask you one more question. Okay, so let me ask you another question. What do you think about suffering in life? Is it optional or mandatory for every human being? Please type optional or mandatory in the chat window based on your opinion.
If you have desires, it is mandatory.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you think that we can just go with the flow, then it is optional, right?
Okay. Thank you, Aditya. Anyone else would like to present his point? Okay. Santosh says it's mandatory. Nice. So keeping, sorry?
Yeah, it's mandatory. Can't escape.
It's mandatory. Okay. Sairama says mandatory. Kaushik says it's mandatory. Okay. So let's explore, is it optional or mandatory? So today the discussion is focused on suffering is optional. In Bhagavad Gita Chapter 2, Lord Sri Krishna begins his teachings by helping Arjuna understand the difference between inevitable challenges and unnecessary suffering. He shows how pain can be transformed from something that controls us into something we consciously respond to. So, are you ready to understand, is the suffering optional or mandatory? Please give a thumbs up in the chat window. Yeah, nice. Cosmic rays. Yeah, a lot of thumbs up. So with that intention, it is my great pleasure to invite Sri Vigrah Das Prabhu from ISKCON Bangalore. He is our esteemed speaker of the series. So Hare Krishna Prabhu, can you please take over and guide us through the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita?
Hare Krishna, Kautuk. Thank you very much. Yes, let's begin the session with prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So yesterday we saw the chapter 1 where we saw that the chaos and confusion of Arjuna led him to the point where he sought the wisdom from Lord Krishna. So in this chapter, the second chapter we are talking about today, it's called the contents of the Gita summarized. In fact, it is like a summary, as I mentioned yesterday, of the entire Bhagavad Gita. So it is an introductory summary because all the concepts that are going to be elaborated by the Lord in the remaining chapters are actually introduced here in the second chapter. So in the second chapter, the Lord is talking about a very fundamental knowledge, fundamental distinction that is essential for every person to understand about himself. So, what is that? Let us begin. The first point that is actually elaborated here in this chapter: you are not the body or the mind, but you are the conscious self who uses them. Just like, uh, why this knowledge is talked about, we should know who we are actually. Are we this body which keeps changing, or are we the mind which keeps generating varieties of thoughts? Who are we actually? At the core, we are neither the body nor the mind. The Bhagavad Gita says we are actually the soul, the conscious self who is given the body and the mind, who is using the body and the mind. Now, this is very important. Uh, today's theme is suffering is optional. Bhagavad Gita says that suffering is optional. As long as one is in ignorance, then suffering is mandatory. See, there are two things: miseries and suffering. What is the difference between the two? Miseries are the negative emotional experiences that we go through, right? Miseries are difficulties or obstacles that we come across in our lives. Everyone has to come across some or the other difficulty or obstacle or challenge in one's journey. So, misery is inevitable. But what is my uh, response to those miserable, difficult circumstances? Now, that is in my hands. That is what the Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita. As long as we identify ourselves with the circumstances in which we are put, then we also become part of those miseries and we actually undergo suffering. But the moment we detach ourselves from the circumstance and look at the circumstance as an observer rather than identify ourselves with the circumstance, right? We become an observer of the circumstance. Then we can actually think of a solution to the problem. You cannot think of a solution to a problem if you think you're also part of the problem, right? So, Lord Krishna reveals very interestingly the root cause of our suffering is our misidentification with our body and the mind. We think that we are the body, we are the mind, and that is why we become so much implicated with every circumstance that involves the body or the mind or both. One example: suppose a student fails in a particular subject in an exam, and he starts thinking, I am a failure. I have failed, therefore I am a failure. So, what is his approach here? He has identified himself with the circumstance called failure in the exam. And he is not just thinking that I have failed in this subject, but he is thinking, I am the failure. I am a failure. Now, this is going to make him more miserable, right? This is going to make him suffer more, right? Instead, Lord Krishna says, no, you are not a failure. You are you a part of your system. For example, in this case, maybe your brain has not performed well in the exam. You were not able to recollect whatever you studied properly in the during the examination. So, failure happened to one particular function of your brain. That doesn't mean that you yourself is a failure. See, there is a difference between the two, right? So, yes, something has gone wrong, but don't identify yourself with that failure, with that wrong. You are still a conscious person outside the circumstance. So, this actually is real wisdom, real knowledge. Most of the people in this world, 99.99% of the people of the world, They identify themselves with their body, with their mind, with their circumstances, but actually they fail to realize that I am different from these. So the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita teaches us the very fundamental lesson about you are not, what is your real identity. That's very important for us to know. So even the even theoretically, if one understands, I am different from my body, mind, and circumstance, he or she feels liberated. He or she feels freedom. So this is the beginning of spiritual knowledge, knowing that I am the soul, I am not the body or the mind or the circumstances created by the body or the mind. So that's the first lesson that we learn. And with this knowledge that I am not the body or the mind, but I am soul and I am eternal. Body or the mind are temporary, but the soul is eternal. The soul is indestructible. Soul is much more powerful than the body or the mind or the circumstances created by the body or the mind. So this is the first ABC, first step in self-actualization in spiritual understanding, right? So we'll understand more about this in the coming sessions, and even today, some more points we'll talk about it. But fundamentally, we should know Aham Brahmasmi. I am the soul. I am spirit soul. This is very, very important. Okay, let's go to the second point. Lord Krishna says in a very interesting shloka in the second chapter, he says, Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha agama apayino anityaha tamsti tikshasva bharata. Lord Krishna says, just like summer season and winter seasons, they come and go. They are not permanent, they are temporary. In the same way, happiness and distress in your life also are not permanent. They are temporary. They come and go. You must learn how to tolerate them without getting disturbed. A person in wisdom, what is his symptom? A person who is really wise, he does not uh, get disturbed by the changing circumstances. This is one of the symptoms of a matured person. Change is natural. We cannot stop it. That's the nature of this world, right? But when we become spiritually matured, then we learn how to stay steady in spite of the changes around us. Our own body keeps changing, right? Krishna says in the same chapter, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. Our body goes through different phases. We take birth, then we are a small child, then we grow into a youth, then we become an old person, and finally, the body dies. So, where are these changes actually happening? Where are these changes called boyhood, youthhood, old age, all these happening? These are actually happening to the temporary body. It's not happening to you, the soul. You are still the same person, right? So, when we identify ourselves with the body, we become very, very disturbed. Oh, old age has come. Oh, now my body is no more attractive. So people become so disturbed. They try to do some, uh, some wrinkle lifting or they undergo some surgery to look very beautiful, handsome, or they try to hide their white hair by applying some dye or, all such things. Why? Because they're becoming so attached to the temporary body. And the changes in the body, they don't want to accept. The more you resist changes in your life, the more it persists. Anything you resist will persist. Instead of that, accept. Accept that yes, the body is ever changing. Yes, the circumstances around me are ever changing, but I am the same person. I am the eternal soul. The body is undergoing old age, but I, the soul, am ever fresh. For the soul, there is no birth, there is no death, there is no old age, and there is no disease. These are all happening on the bodily platform. So therefore, the more I detach myself from the body, the more I can remain steady in the ever-changing bodily and mental circumstances. See, this is a very important knowledge. Unfortunately, we are taught so many things in our education system from our childhood, but this very fundamental thing, unfortunately, is not taught to us. And that is why we become so disturbed by bodily and mental changes. So Lord Krishna says, Tam stitikshasva bharata. A matured person, a spiritually awakened person, will not be disturbed, will learn to tolerate these changes happening within our mind body system or the circumstances surrounding us. Example, as I mentioned, summer season comes, it goes. Winter season comes, and then it goes. It's not permanent. The mind has a function. What the mind does, the mind eternalizes the present. The mind makes us think that whatever I'm going through now, it's going to be there forever. But that's not a fact, right? So it keeps changing, circumstances keep changing. So let us focus not on the external circumstances, let us focus on the inner self. That is your true self, right? So that is a very important thing that we need to understand. I'll tell you an example which our Acharya Srila Prabhupada used to often say. You know, there was a young man, he did not know how to swim, but he was so excited to swim. So one fine day, he goes to the river and he jumps into the river, hoping that he will learn swimming on his own. So he could not swim because he didn't know. So very soon he started drowning. Now, other friends who were there with him, one of the friends came and said, "Oh, I also don't know swimming. I can't jump to save him." So he started calling out loudly for others who were all there on the river bank. He said, "Oh, please come and save my drowning friend. Please come," like that. So one person said, "Yeah, I know swimming. I will jump into the river and save your friend. Don't worry." And immediately he jumped into the river. And you guess what? He brought out the shirt and the coat of that man and he said, "Look at this. I have saved your friend." Right? He was so happy about it that he has achieved something great, that he has saved the drowning person. But actually, has he saved the real person who was drowning? No. He only has saved the dress of the drowning man. Right? Any help that is given to the body and to the mind, neglecting the existence of the eternal soul, it is just like saving the dress of a drowning man. A person can be truly saved if the soul of that person, so in this example, the person has to be lifted out of the water and he has to be saved. Then you can say that I have saved the drowning man. Simply taking out the dress of that person and saying I am saving the drowning man, that's not the real help. In the same second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Vasamshi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naroparani. Vasamsi means dress. This body and mind, they are dresses for the soul, right? But the real person is the soul. Unless we understand this, we are in ignorance. We keep making wrong choices in life. We keep having wrong priorities in life, understanding that I am the body and mind. So simply trying to save the body and mind, but not feeding the real person, the soul, it is of no use. So how do we remain steady in all circumstances? Lord Krishna says, first, number one, theoretically understand that you are not the body, your spirit soul. Second, do every day something to nourish the soul, to uplift the soul, right? What is that? We will see that later. That's the way to remain steady in all changing circumstances. Let us go to the third point. In the third point, very famous shloka of the second chapter. We must all have heard this. Chapter 2, verse number 47. Very beautiful verse. Krishna says, Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te sangostva karmani. What is the meaning of this? It's the most quoted verse of Bhagavad Gita and also most misunderstood verse as well. Lord Krishna says, you have a right to perform your duty, but you have no say over the results. Okay, very important point, right? Do your duty sincerely. Don't become attached to the results. Don't try to control the results. Many times, why we get disturbed? The very thought of failure makes us very disturbed, so much so that we don't even put efforts, we don't even make attempts. Because what if I fail is a big question, bothering all of us. But actually, Lord Krishna says, don't worry about the outcome. Do your duty sincerely. Now, this is the seed of Karma Yoga that Krishna is planting here in the second chapter. So he says, duty has to be done. You know why you have to do duty? Because even for a moment, you can't remain idle. Somebody may say, "Oh, I'm so worried about the results, so I'll not do my work at all." No, you can't be like that. If you don't do work X, you'll be doing work Y. If you don't do physical work, mind will not leave you. Mentally, you will be thinking. So in either case, you will be working. So don't try to artificially become inactive. Instead, do your duty sincerely, right? Now, why should you not worry about the results? Should I not have aspirations in life? Is Bhagavad Gita telling me, don't make any plans for your life? Don't have goals in your life? No, that's not what Bhagavad Gita is saying. Suppose if you're a student, yes, you can plan your career. This is what I want to do by 25. I want to finish this double degree, or I want to complete my PhD within this many years. You can have those goals. That goals give us a direction in life. But becoming obsessed by the results, becoming too attached, trying to become control freaks, you know, the more you try to control the results of your life, of your work, the more you become frustrated. You know why? Because actually, results are not under our control. What is under our control? Efforts alone are under our control, right? Results are not in our hands. This we have to realize. A lot of people become frustrated in their life because they try to control the results without realizing that the results are actually not in their hands. Okay. So therefore, uh, don't become control freaks, especially about results, right? Then you can attain peace of mind. You can become free from frustrations. So therefore, do your duty sincerely. Put all your endeavors very sincerely and depend on the Lord for the results. This is a very important principle of Karma Yoga Lord Krishna teaches us. So, just because you are not able to control the results, don't falsely try to give up your work, number one. Second, don't think that you alone are the cause of the output, the results. There are other factors. You are only a co creator in life. You are not the creator. There are other factors which come into play, right? For example, many times we see some interviews of successful people, right? For example, a successful businessman. If somebody asks, what is the cause of your success? What do you attribute your success to? So he may say, You see, there was a favorable environment. Market was favorable. So he says the market was favorable. There was less competition. Therefore, I was able to flourish. So one businessman may attribute his success to the favorable market conditions. Another businessman might say, you see, I was very focused and I was studying the market constantly and I knew exactly when to invest in what, and I took guidance from my mentors, and because of all these things I achieved success. Another person might say, business is in my blood. My father, my great grandfather, everybody, they were businessmen. So business runs in our family. Therefore, I have got the knack of business, by birth. So, like this, you see, every businessman has his own success story. He attributes. That means we understand that it is not our efforts alone. Sometimes a businessman may put all best efforts with full, very good calculations, but still he may not flourish in his business, isn't it? He may become a pauper. So that means we are not the creators of our life, of the results of our life. It is a very important thing Krishna reveals in the Bhagavad Gita. This is elaborated further in the coming chapters. We will discuss more about it. We are only co creators. What we can do is only put sincere endeavors and do not try to become obsessed about results. Now, the last point for today, self control is real power. Uncontrolled senses quietly steal success. The very interesting example that Krishna gives in this chapter is Samudra. Samudra means ocean. An ocean constantly receives water from various rivers, isn't it? But still, ocean does not undergo floods, right? Ocean is ever still, ever calm. That's the nature of the ocean. So Lord Krishna says, a person who has control over his mind and senses. He's exactly like that, like that ocean, right? Even though constantly many thoughts enter into his mind, he is very calm, composed. He is not getting agitated with each and every thought that the mind produces. You know, suppose there are some marketing people, or what do you call sales people, right? Sometimes some salesmen come to our house. They knock at our door. Do we welcome the salesman into our living room and make him sit with us? Very unlikely, isn't it? Unless you know that person. We know that salesman has come. He's trying to market some product. Then and there, sometimes we don't even probably talk to him. We just open the door and say, no, no, thank you. Sorry, I don't want this, whatever you are. And we just shut the door, isn't it? Or sometimes we may hear whatever he has to say about his product and then say, sorry, I'm not interested. Shut the door. Right? It's not that we give a red carpet welcome to every stranger, every marketing executive into our house, every salesman into our house. In the same way, Lord Krishna says, mind's job is to keep on popping thoughts. So you don't have to give a red carpet welcome to every thought that the mind is trying to propose, right? Don't just keep encouraging, yeah, whatever thoughts the mind says. You know why we do that? Because we misidentify ourselves with the mind. We are not the mind. That's the first point we talked about today, isn't it? So the moment we think I am different from the mind, only then the point comes that I don't have to accept everything that the mind is proposing to me. That's called self-control, right? Mind keeps on coming up with so many crazy ideas, but you need to have the spiritual wisdom, the maturity to see which thought is favorable for my success and which thought is unfavorable. And accordingly, you shut the door, just like you shut the door to the salesman. Mind is like that salesman. Keep on proposing various products. You don't have to fall for each product, right? You have to have the wisdom, the maturity to say no. Very important. A person who knows the art of saying no, he can actually attain peace in life. You cannot keep saying yes to every thought that the mind says, then you'll go crazy. So, knowing the art of saying no. How do we do this? We will understand this in the coming chapters. This is self control, self mind control, sense control. Very, very important. We'll talk more about this in the coming sessions. So, now, a very important practice that we can do every day, a very simple thing that we can do every day to attain mind control and self control is to connect with the divine. The easiest way to connect with the divine in this age of Kali Yuga is through the process of chanting the holy names of the Lord. I now request all of you to please join me for a minute. We will be chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra together for 10 times. And after that, we will have a Q&A if you have any questions. First, we chant the invocation prayer. It is displayed on the screen. Please repeat after me. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Now we will chant the Hare Krishna mantra together for 10 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. So it's my sincere request to all of you to please try chanting this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day, at least for 8 minutes, 108 times. And this is how you can add your connection with the Supreme Lord, with the divinity. And that keeps us, always alert and helps us tackle with the various thoughts that the mind comes up with. So please chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day. And tomorrow we are going to talk about the art of working, Dharma Yoga, covering some points from the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita.